Hello and welcome back to this episode of the Joycast, where we're together today, Felicia and I, to celebrate Earth Day, which is tomorrow as we're recording today. And for you, it's last week, but it's never a bad day to celebrate Earth, Mother Earth. And so yeah, we want to help you connect to nature with this episode because we are a part of nature. We're not separate from it. And we want to give you an experience of that today and really dive deep into that.
This is Joy, the Journey of You podcast. We're your hosts, Devin,
Chris,
and Felicia.
And we're here for joy.
This podcast is your permission slip to reconnect to your inherent joy and to embrace it.
Let's fill up the cosmic joy pot together as we dive into today's episode.
So yeah, when we are disconnected from nature, we're essentially disconnected from ourselves because we are nature, right? So we really dysregulate our nervous systems when we don't connect to nature and we get overwhelmed and overstimulated by all the tech and all the information that is around us, right?
Even all the energies that are around us, right? Like all the people, everyone we're interacting with. When you're dysregulated, it's really easy to pick up on those frequencies around you or those moods.
Yeah.
Whatever, people are bringing with them, it's easier to let that in when you're not deeply rooted in yourself and in nature.
Very, very true. And when we do choose to consciously connect to nature, I mean, we can go for walks in nature and still be on our phones and still be deeply connected into tech. Even though we have all this nature going on around us, we are not conscious of it. So, but when we do choose to consciously connect, our whole system can calm down, our whole nervous system relaxes. Because, like, for example, I mean, not just the color green, right? But also birdsong has been proven to relax our nervous systems because birds only sing when there's no danger. So our systems automatically register no danger when birds sing. Exactly.
Oh, I love that.
And that's so fascinating to me. And that's like, there's all these signals that nature sends out in every season to help us really ground and relax and calm our system and release what's not necessary for our highest good. So it's so
and also
abundant.
The signals to charge up, right?
Yes.
Like when summertime or springtime's coming in and things are blooming, right? And the weather starts getting warmer, like you just want to be more active. You want to move around and be in that space. And so that's so beautiful of a point, Chris, is nature has cycles. She has these signals. And when we can actually pause and listen to them, it's like then we come back into the regulation of that.
And we then are able to adapt to our own cycles. We can listen back to them and see, oh wow, actually I need a rest. Because we can, like, when we connect to nature, we're actually also then better able to connect to ourselves again. And really, because the noise inside and outside is not so loud, then we can receive the signals, right?
So oftentimes we have this projected image of or expectation of what we're supposed to do all the time. I should do this, right? I should be doing this and I should be doing this. And it's like, maybe that's not the truth.
Most likely that's not the truth.
Anytime we're using should, it's like, should I? Really? Is that what the thing is? Right? And if we take that moment, so taking that pause and consciously connecting to nature, it doesn't have to be a big, long thing where we take a hike for like months at a time, right? It can even happen in the shortest moments of time. If you're out for a walk and you're just feeling your feet and you're feeling the sunshine or you're feeling the wind, right? And you're smelling hopefully fresh air. It's it's an instant reset if we let it be.
Yeah, and it can even be like I wrote that in the book I'm writing, in the children's book, that it can even be just looking at the sky. Like you
Okay, I
don't
love
need
how
much.
I just gotta pause for a second. How you casually drop these things that are like pretty big, and you've never mentioned it before, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm writing a children's book." La la la. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Been a while in the banking, but it's growing. It's growing. So yeah. Um, yeah, no, and it's really, it can be tiny slivers, but if you do it with awareness and with consciousness, with choice, it can, it can have a really
It
big
magnifies
effect.
it.
Yes.
Yes, makes the effects of the moment
Mhm.
exponentially more impactful.
Absolutely.
That was a lot of words. Did it make
Yeah,
sense?
it made sense. It made sense to me.
And I love this quote. I think it's like it's an old Chinese proverb, like Lao Tzu. I don't know. Anyways, it says Mother Nature never hurries, and yet
Mhm.
somehow everything gets done.
Mhm.
And so a lot of the times when we feel this rush, 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 like there's a lot of spiritual guider leaders out there, right? Guidance out there that would be like, okay, meditate for 5 minutes a day. And if you don't have time to do that, go meditate for
Go for
20 minutes
go for an hour. Yeah,
or an
exactly. Yeah.
hour, right? Because what's so lovely about that is when you can set your day up around the grounded, calm intention, the breath, the connection, like everything else becomes less charged. Everything else becomes a little bit easier. And you can pause throughout the day to do that when you notice your nervous system is acting up, right? Or when you're just overwhelmed with thoughts.
Mhm.
And even in Japan, right, there are doctors who will recommend slash prescribe what they call Shinrin Yoku. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly. My apologies.
You are. You are.
I am okay.
I don't know.
and,
I'm just saying it.
and it means like forest bathing, right? So think about how revolutionary it is for us in like the North American society, at least. I know, Chris, you don't live in the North American society, but like I've never heard of a doctor prescribing forest bathing or, going out in nature. But this is so part of like the Japanese culture, and the country understands the potency
Mhm.
of that and how much it can alleviate stress and unwind from what we've wound ourselves up from
Mhm.
and for.
Absolutely. And it's so funny because I have that in my book as well. Of
I'm
course.
surprised.
Yeah, and
You're alive?
what I also want to mention is that when we are in this day-to-day structured go, 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 do, 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 and our nervous system gets so dysregulated, it feels like our energetic container gets like really constricted, really small, really tight, and there is no space for things to land. There's no
Mm-hmm.
like ideas can't land, things can't come to us, we can't receive because it's like our fists are tight, right? But when we go into nature and receive all that she has for us, so abundantly, then our systems open up. And what I have noticed is really like when we allow that to happen, when we really allow ourselves to take these deep breaths and exhale deeply, our systems open up and we receive magical ideas. And magic in general happens because, like we say, yeah, I'm open, I'm ready, bring it on. It's not like I'm striving, I'm working for it, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But it's like, really, just bring it on. I'm here, I'm receiving, right?
You know what's kind of crazy and
No.
not crazy because, that's how this works is part of what I talked about in the last episode was that pressure that we create to
Mhm.
do the thing the right way or get everything just the way that it should be or that expected outcome that we want to make happen, right? And so anytime we're in that space of trying and pushing and need, we create scarcity in ourselves, in our bodies, and especially in our minds, right? And nature is so naturally abundant. Like that is the state of nature. Go outside, look at the stars, look at the leaves, look at the grass, look at the sand. Like there is an infinite number of grains of sand, right? There's not, okay, like physically I know that, but
but it appears to be.
It appears to be. And so abundance is all around us. And when we stop and just pause and reflect and allow, as Chris said, like the things that you need will come.
Mm-hmm. And you know what I just realized while you were talking was that when we consciously connect to nature like that, we rise to that frequency, right? We align our frequency with her frequency. And that's like, at least that's what it feels like to me right now. And by doing that, we align with that abundance of having all that is necessary, and everything like that coming to us.
And if that sounds a little woo-woo for you listeners, like you can imagine it like a science experiment. If you have a tuning fork and you have another one that's of the same frequency or resonance, right? It will start to vibrate beside the tuning fork that was hit. Even if the one that is the other one wasn't hit, they will start vibrating at the same frequency, or, and so it's proven also in science that when you can shift your resonance, right, you will receive.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it really is about opening up to that frequency, opening up your system. And to me, that can happen when I am on a walk or when I am taking a shower and I'm immersed in the element of water. And, people can say that when you do these things, obviously you're not on your phone in your shower. I would hope. But
You
still,
can be listening to podcasts or music, right, in the shower.
True.
Like, so what Chris is saying right now is like, even taking a few minutes unplugged.
Yes.
Without the music, without the podcasts, without the audiobooks or whatever.
Without any input from the outside,
yes.
you can receive input from the inside. And even if you don't receive input, you expand your system and you open it up for the input, the inner input, to arrive when it's time, right? Like, and that just, that is really, really cool. Because then we have that space. And I mean, in our coaching sessions, this is what we create consciously. So when we go into the session, we regulate the nervous system. So we have the capacity and the ability to receive, and then we step into that information that we want to tune into. So you can do it consciously, but if you don't do it like that, you just disconnect and you go into nature and you connect with nature. And like I said, even if you take a shower, that is nature, that is water, right? So you don't even have to be outside.
Or not in a city, for instance, a busy city. And what was fascinating to me is I actually do live like outside of the big city on an acreage. And one day the power went out because, that also is a product sometimes of living outside of the city. And it was amazing to hear the shutdown of my house, because everything that's normally running from the electricity, like the lights, the refrigerator, even, you don't realize how loud it is until that silence happens. And immediately felt this, like all my cells just kind of like rested and came down, and it was so beautifully quiet. And even though that time was kind of brief, like it was so potent to be able to experience. So you can experience this even when you don't physically go out in nature. Like Krista said with the shower, that is one of the best ways. And it's not the only way to access this.
Absolutely. So yeah, should we do a short demo
Yes, please.
Okay. So, if you're able to do so, if it's safe, I invite you to close your eyes and just take a deep breath. And notice how you're connected with nature as you breathe. That is nature as well, the air that you breathe. But now, in your imagination, I invite you to go to this big, bustling city that is full of people hurrying to get to their jobs on time. And they have all these grim faces and they're really preoccupied and everybody is on their phones. And just sense into that energy, how it feels. Everything is concrete. Maybe there's a tree here and there, but it really feels like humanity has wiped out nature pretty much, just to make space for all these conveniences. What does that feel like in your body? And now just imagine as you exhale, just breathing out that energy and letting go of that and maybe wiping it off of yourself. And take a deep, fresh breath in. And now imagine walking through this gorgeous forest in late spring, and you can hear the birds. And you can breathe this super fresh, clean air. And your feet walk on the soft ground. And just notice what happens in your body now. Maybe you can hear the wind blow through the trees. And notice how as you breathe, you are connected with nature. Your out breath is what feeds the trees and the plants. And the out breath of the trees is what sustains you. And I see it as this infinite exchange between us and nature. And as you walk through this forest, be open to receive a message from Mother Nature that she has for you right now. You will receive it with your heart, and you will know. This is for you. And when you're ready, you can take a deep breath and open your eyes and just come back to the here and now and the present moment. And if you're not ready, you can just pause the audio and stay in the forest a little longer. But yeah, you're back, Felicia. How was this for you? How did it feel?
You know, in the beginning, when you're like guiding us through that busy city, I was brought back to Hong Kong immediately because you had said, oh, and people are walking and they're looking at their cell phones. Like, so when you take the train in Hong Kong, it is pretty busy. There's a lot of people, but like people are like, you can even hear it in my description. Like my voice is a little more frantic, right? And people are having like 2 or 3 cell phones, and they're watching a cell phone and they're playing games on a different cell phone. And I was like, what is this? This is not my experience. This is not my normal life, you know? And it just felt like this disconnection of not even just like each other, right? But also of them to themselves.
Yes.
Because they're looking for ways to almost distract or be constantly stimulated, or I don't know what the purpose is, but what it looked like and felt like, right? It was just a way to pass the time. And then you brought us into such a beautiful forest, and I could picture the birds so clearly, and the sun even just streaming through the trees, and the warmth, and it was like a soul body warming sun. And so what was funny is, as soon as you said like, and then there's this message, and my phone like buzzed with a message. So
I'm so
I haven't
curious
looked at it, obviously, but
I was just gonna say.
We'll see what it is later. But you know, the first message I got, it was so gentle, and it was so loving, and it was about the fact that I am loved. And I think what's easy to get lost in is when we're in that bustle of needing to do something, or like making sure we get X, Y, and Z done in a day. We just put our worth onto what we've achieved in a day, or something like that. And if I don't get every single thing on my to-do list done, I'm failed, right? And if you let yourself get swept up in that, then, you know, there's always a multitude of things to add to that list, and we'll always feel like failures. Again, that scarcity mindset comes in so strongly. And so in this forest, in this gentle, peaceful, calm way, it was just this grounded love. And it was like, you're fine. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing. Like, yeah, remember that quote about Mother Nature never hurries, and yet somehow everything gets done. Like, what you need will be there when you need it.
Absolutely. And also, like, it's, what's it called? I think the Parkinson's law. I always mix up Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, but I think it's called the Parkinson's law, that time expands to the amount you have to do. So it's like, you know, time is malleable. So the important things will always get done, right? You just squeeze in all these extra things. And that's what, you know, creates that tension and that pressure that's not necessary. But yeah, I love that. I love that. And I went straight to Paris, even though, you know, Paris can be such a beautiful and chill town,
Romantic
and
city.
romantic.
Yeah.
But when I lived there, it was like, you know, and I mean, you know, like I was busy there too, right? So you're in that mode, and then it just felt super busy. When I go there now on vacation, it's different. But that Hong Kong experience sounded very,
it was fascinating to observe, and also try to be curious about, you know, because it's easy to slip into judgment.
No, it's not about judgment, but it's like, you know, the sheer imagining of having to handle 2 or 3 cell phones together simultaneously. Like, my brain cannot do that. Maybe my kids' brains can do that, but like, I can't. I'm too old for that.
Well, and I don't think we're too old for that. I think that, you know,
No,
our
you're
brains
so
are
young.
okay. If age, again, right? Nothing but a perspective and a perception, right? And how, like, we humans weren't made to be constantly stimulated all the time in that way. And so what did you experience when you were, was there anything that you wanted to share in terms of as you were guiding the demo?
Yeah, no, I was just walking in our forest up here, and like, when I'm there, I can exhale, like, really deeply exhale. And that's what I felt, and what I saw, and the message I received was just also super simple. And I love that, because that's how nature communicates. It's not complex, it's very simple. It was, you're safe. Whatever happens, you're safe. You're safe. And
I actually needed that message too. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. I also want to share what I actually wanted to share in the beginning of the episode, that because it's Earth Day, tomorrow is also Felicia's birthday. And we were thinking back of the first episode we did with Felicia when I didn't know you at all. And that was so cool. Like listening back to this, how it feels like incredible. It's only been a year.
What's crazy is it's already been a year. It feels like no time and all the time. Like, so listeners, the very first episode Chris and I and Devin ever recorded, where they invited me to be an interviewee on the podcast, it was my birthday when we recorded. And so it's so fabulous and wonderful to have been on this journey with both of you and learn and grow with you in all of these ways throughout the year. And the main intention around this podcast, listeners, is in the name. Joy, the journey of you. It's like your return to joy, your remembrance of joy, your reconnection to joy, and that journey through that. Joy. Your permission slip to joy, and it's such a, oh my gosh, I don't even have words. I can't describe the gratefulness I feel to be a part of this wonderful project, to help each and every listener be connected to their joy. Like, what a wonderful thing to be a part of and to help infuse throughout the world.
And in ourselves, because every episode we record, we reconnect to it as well. So it's like it flows through us to you. Yeah, and that's such a huge blessing. And when I listened back to that episode, as like I had not met you before, and I had, Devin had shared things about you, but I didn't know you at all, and I didn't do any deeper questions or research or anything. I came in totally naive. And
Me too.
But that was planned. I mean, that was intentional, because I really wanted to have that curiosity to get to know you. And you threw around these surprise bombs. Oh yeah, I'm a professional bowler. Oh yeah, I play music. I'm a musician. I play ukulele. I I sing. I do. I was like, oh my God, like, oh, and I teach yoga. I was like, oh my God, and I was an engineer. Like, I did everything. Like, it was such a huge spectrum of things. It was really amazing. I love that episode.
I love that episode too. And for many things. And what's interesting about what you said in terms of that spectrum of things is every single person has that spectrum of things also. The things that light you up and the things that you want to pursue. And we're so multidimensional and multifaceted. And that is also part of reconnecting to the joy, or connecting to the joy, or living the joy, is being able to explore with curiosity what lights you up. And that is like one of your unique thumbprints, soul prints on this planet at this time. And how can that thrive and be in the forefront of your life?
Amen. I feel like that is a beautiful sentence to finish on.
We hope you enjoyed this episode, listeners. And also that demo, if you have some comments you want to share about how you experienced it, we would love to hear it. And one of the things we'd love to leave you with today, yes, we have Earth Day, and it's on April 22nd. And we invite you to connect to nature more consciously throughout the day, throughout the weeks, and then see how it can shift and regulate your nervous system, or help you navigate your life just by plugging into nature and unplugging from tech sometimes, right? And we're not saying to live like monks. This is something you can do throughout day-to-day life, just to bring and infuse more presence and connection, and see what changes within you over time because of that. That is our invitation for you today.
and also what changes in your life, like how much more magic are you calling in when you do this? Like, really make it an experiment and observe what happens, right? And you can correlate it. Like, once you can call it a coincidence, but the more often it happens, you will understand why we are convinced it's not a coincidence. Right?
And why these magical alignments happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we just, once we open our eyes and attune to that, they're abundantly available.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Yay!
So here's to an abundance of magic to all of you listeners, and we shall see you again next week. And until then, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.